What's up, guys? We're on the air and off the books with Beth Ann and Samantha, and today we're going to be talking about books that we have on our bookshelf that we have not read yet. And disclaimer, all of these books we also have in some form at one of our branches of the Kokomo Library. So you will be able to check these out, put them on hold, do whatever you want. So
do whatever you want. Don't even read them.
but you do have to return them. If
yes,
you're not going to.
return them, please. Thank you.
Okay, so Beth Ann's going to start. She's going to tell us her first book.
So my bookshelf right now is in a state of disarray. So I had to scour. This actually was really hard.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, because usually my TBR is 8 billion miles long.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm in this weird mood of wanting to read specific things. So I was having a hard time choosing. So unfortunately, you're hearing a lot of historical fiction today.
Dun dun
dun. Spoilers. So the first one that I have on here is The Rose Code by Kate Quinn. And my mom got it for me a long time ago. Well, when did it come out? I say a long time ago. And it was probably actually only months ago. Oh yeah, it was literally last year that it came out. But my mom got it for me when it came out for my birthday. And I haven't picked it up because it's almost 700 pages.
Oh my gosh.
And
she has high expectations of you.
She does. But I wanted it. Don't ask me why, but I did. But it's a historical fiction, shocker. And it's in 1940 in England with Nazi Germany. And it is about these women who answer or try to decipher the military codes of the Germans. And it's actually, I love stuff like this. This description is a mile long, so I'm not going to be reading it or anything to you. But it's going to be so good because, all of the intrigue, the mystery, and there's, just because, the base story isn't true doesn't mean, all the facts surrounding it aren't based on truth. That's what I love about historical fiction. But if you are interested in, the war, World War II type stuff. If you really like things set in England, this is for you for sure. And it has very, very good reviews. So pick this up. We've got it online and on the shelf, I think at all of our branches because it's relatively new. And the cover's really pretty.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
I like it a lot.
Yeah, that is pretty.
But yeah, it's really thick, and the words are really small, and that's why I haven't picked it up yet. So, your turn.
That was Beth Ann's first book.
First book.
So my first book is, I've actually had this book on my TBR list for probably 6 years. It's called We Were Liars by E. Lockhart.
I forgot about that one.
And this is your typical group of friends type book. Something goes wrong and they're trying to figure out who did it or what happened. So this one is about a group of friends that are on an island together and there's some crazy accident and then they're all trying to figure out what happened, how it happened. Yeah, it gives me Clue vibes when I read the description. But I've heard this book has a really big twist, and I love reading things with big twists that you don't see coming, so that is why this has been on my TBR list. I don't know why I haven't started reading it, probably because I have 80,000 books to read, but yes, We Were Liars by E. Lockhart. We do have physical copies, and we do have, I believe we have this on ebook as well.
Yeah, I think it's on Overdrive.
Yes.
Because that's way down in my TBR as well. I forgot about that one. That one looks good.
I'm pretty sure you bought that for me. Or you gave it to me. Something like that. I think I stole it from your bookshelf.
Possibly.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. It's so overflowing with blood. Ooh. Okay, the next one that I have is another historical fiction. This one, The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna. I'm so excited for this
That's
book.
the one with like
the wheat in the cover,
wheat grass blowing.
Yes. So this is 1921 in Texas when the Dust Bowl starts. And it's about this woman who is forced to marry a man that she doesn't really know. And how when all the crops and everything dries up, then they have to decide to stay and fight or move to California to find a better life. And it kind of reminds me of, is it Out of the Dust? Have you read that book? I think that's what it's called. And then Grapes of Wrath. It kind of reminds me of those, but less... I don't know. Steinbeck is good, but he's not my favorite. I don't really like... He's very staunch. Those are very staunch books, but I'm hoping that this will be very, like, intriguing, gripping, and it's going to be so good. I really think it's going to be fantastic.
I've seen a bunch of TikTokers review it, and they're like, it is, like, gut-wrenching, heart-wrenching, like,
oh, it's
I'm
gonna be
sobbing.
So good then. See, that's what's so weird is because, like, for instance, like, when I read Fountains of Silence... It was crushing.
Yeah.
Like, parts of it were crushing. So was like all of her other books are actually really crushing, but I don't know why I enjoy that way more than I enjoy like some other fiction book and it being sad.
Yeah.
Like I'm reading one right now and it's just overtly depressing and I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it just kind of makes me like so sad that I don't want to read it. Mm-hmm. But the fact that this is going to be like impact... I think it's just because it could have been real.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain that.
That's how I told Trisha the other day. I said, that's why I don't like family thrillers, because then I think about, like, man, what if my family did this to me? And, like...
That's true.
Which they wouldn't, but, like, what if?
Because I agree with you in some sense of that. I don't think that it could happen to me. I just think that it makes me angry because it does happen. Mm-hmm. Like, it makes me furious, and then I don't want to, like, take part in it. Mm-hmm. So, but if you... I've heard amazing things about all of Kristen Hanna's books, and I have yet to, like, start down that road, and I am ready for that. But it is also... How many pages? 450 pages.
That's not bad.
It's not too bad, but it's closer to 500 than I'd like.
You gotta round down.
I am literally, like, picking all these massive books that's going to take me 800 years to read.
Yeah.
It's fine.
No, on my 10th year reunion at the library, you're going to be like, I finished The Four Winds.
And it was fantastic. It took me on a decade of a roller coaster ride.
Yeah. It was so good.
So amazing.
My next book is, I think it's pronounced Circe?
Oh, yeah. I think, no, both of those that you said at first sound right.
Okay, Circe. We're going to say it as Circe by
yeah.
Madeleine Miller. So this is obviously about Circe, if you know who that is. She's a Greek god? Roman god? Greek?
Yeah. Greek, I think.
So this is about... So Circe, she's growing up in the shadows of her family. She's kind of like the underdog, like just like hidden in the shadows, like not a big deal. And everybody else in her family is like a huge deal. So Circe is given the gift of witchcraft and she is banished to like this island place, deserted place where she's just there. And while she's banished to this place, she begins to like hone her craft of witchcraft, and then turns out she gets a visit from Odysseus. If you've ever read the Odyssey, he's a traveler, so he probably traveled to Circe while he was on his little Odyssey. And he was like, excursion. Hey, what's up? So yeah, she gets a visit from Odysseus, and I'm not going to like tell you anything else about that because you guys need to pick it up and read it. We do have it at the library. We do have it on Hoopla. It's just a book about love, adventure, and loss. And I've heard great things about it. I haven't read it, but I'm really excited to read it. I did buy it. Of course, I bought it because I can't stop. You have to let me know
if it's good because I love stuff like that. I just don't know if I can... I need to know it's good before I commit.
Okay, I'll read it and I'll tell you to read it.
Okay. Whoop. I like it.
Yes.
Okay. So the next one I have on here is The Fear by, I think his first name is Charlie Higson. Higson, Higson. And the problem is that I have the third book in the series and I didn't know it. until I looked it up. So it's actually the first one you're going to start with is The Enemy, which I don't have, but I would like to read the series. But it's just a series about the zombie apocalypse. I know everybody the age of 16 or older is basically a zombie walking around.
Ooh.
And this actually takes place in London as well, which is kind of odd. But it's about these kids who get into Buckingham Palace and survive the apocalypse, essentially.
Huh.
And, I love zombies. So
That actually sounds like something I might read.
it reminds me of
It would have to
What is
be
it
more
called?
adventure and less The Walking Dead.
you don't like The Walking Dead?
No.
Really?
Like,
Why?
I don't want to read about, like, oh, the zombies broke in and they're eating everybody. I just want to, like, read about the adventure of it all.
Really?
Yeah.
I would rather hear about the attacks. And them
Really?
fighting, yeah.
Like,
The
there can
fight
be
scene is my favorite
There can be
part.
attacks, but it just can't be, like, cheesy, like, I'm reading some, like, cheesy horror book.
You think The Walking Dead's cheesy?
It just gives me, like, I don't know, like,
Really?
basic zombie movie vibes.
Huh. That's very
It was
interesting.
okay. I started watching it, like, I think it was, like, I don't know how many seasons there are.
Did you read it?
I did not, but I started watching where, I think his name's Neil Gaiman.
Mm.
He's such a cutie. He's my man crush Wednesday. That
Man
boy.
crush.
He's a beautiful
It's Man Crush
man.
Monday! Yay!
He's a beautiful man, I'll tell you. But if you tip Wednesday upside down, it starts with an M. So man
justified.
crush Wednesday.
Justified.
That man is beautiful.
Just call it Men's Day.
I will marry you one day. I'm so sorry, Nolan.
Yeah, I was going to say, Nolan, avert your ears.
It's fine. But yeah, I watched it when he was like, he had the bat and he was like, all right, I'm gonna kill you all. And he just like kills everybody. And then like, that was like the most like mind-blowing episode of like the entire.
Did you say Neil Gaiman?
Is that not his name? Who is it?
No.
What's his name? Wait, who's Neil Gaiman?
Neil Gaiman is a writer. I was about to say like
Okay,
what?
no.
That sounds really familiar.
What's
but
his name? It's like the same.
It's oh, now I can't remember.
You have to look it up now.
It's what's his
Guys,
name?
Don't tell me I'm an idiot. I already know.
Negan.
Negan.
I didn't even have to look it up.
What's his real name?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know.
Turns out it's Neil Gaiman.
Turns out it's Neil.
I don't know what in my mind said Neil Gaiman. I think I
know.
literally pictured like the front cover of a book, and I was like, Neil Gaiman. That's what it is.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Just
Listen.
ignore me.
I was kind of confused, and I was just like, I didn't know he like narrated
And you were
the
like,
show.
yeah.
I know, because I was like, maybe you're thinking,
No.
because I knew they used to do a show after the show, and I was like, maybe he was like a narrator or something.
I don't.
For that, or
I
like
think
the
I was
host.
literally thinking about books, and I saw in
Oh.
my mind that name on a cover, and I was like, "That's it."
That's him.
But
That's
yeah,
the one I love.
Jeff,
Neil Gaiman.
My dude Jeff. He was in Grey's Anatomy. He was also in Supernatural. He's beautiful.
He was in Grey's Anatomy.
Anyway, yeah, he was a sick patient that one of the doctors like fell in love with.
Ugh, this
And
is why I
he
don't watch
died,
Grey's
and
Anatomy.
it was tragic. Sorry if I just ruined Grey's Anatomy, but he dies.
If you haven't watched it by now, you'll never watch it, so it's fine.
You've got like 15 seasons to catch up on, so.
Yeah, it's never gonna happen.
Yes, our boy Neil Gaiman, aka Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
AKA Negan.
Honestly, I was close because if you combine Neil Gaiman and combine
Okay, yeah.
Negan.
Fair enough.
Yes.
I'll give you that one.
So I'm not.
But yeah,
that
I just
big
went.
of an
I
idiot.
just went right along. I'm a
Yeah.
horrible friend because I was
Yeah.
like, "This is
She was.
right."
She was.
No, I'm not a horrible friend. I just have a
scamming
lot
me.
of trust in you.
She was scamming me.
I
For
was.
Sure.
I'm committed to this, and I am fully support you all the way.
Yes. So.
So if you like zombies, read that.
Yeah. All right. The next book I have is a really popular book right now by Colleen Hoover. It's called It Ends With Us. And I was actually reading the description the other day, and I just read a book that reminds me of this. It was, what's the book that I read that I said I, wasn't a huge fan of? Because it was, written, in England, and it seemed like it was back in the day.
We just read it.
Oh,
It's,
Behind Closed Doors.
Behind Closed Doors, B.A. Paris.
Yes. So it's giving me those vibes, but it is American writing. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with English writing, but it is very different. It's very, proper, and the things that they do in the books are a lot different from like, oh, here we're heading to McDonald's today, and next we're gonna stop by Wendy's. It's very like, we're gonna have a luncheon and we're gonna sit with our friends and like talk about like our day. So it ends with us.
She doesn't want to play by play.
Yes. Okay? This is about a girl that gets into a relationship that seems too good to be true, and so this guy that she gets with, she starts noticing like strange things about him and how averted he is to relationships, and she starts thinking like this is disturbing, like how like averted he is to like being in a relationship. So eventually he makes an exception for her, of course, and so she's like trying to have this perfect relationship with this guy, but at the same time she's having thoughts about her ex and like starting to like think, okay, what if I'm making the wrong decision? And
she forces him into a relationship and she wasn't ready.
I'm getting the vibe that it's going to be about like mental abuse from the guy. Like he's like,
but she chose him. She forced him to...
No, she didn't force him, but he really liked her, so he's making an exception to get into a relationship. But she can't figure out why he's so averted to relationships, and she just thinks it's really odd.
There's no red flags here.
There's red flags. So all I've heard about this book is that it's like terribly heart-wrenching and that I will cry forever.
I'm seeing themes. Can you tell like what kind of readers we are based on our to be read shelves at home?
Yes.
Make your own assumptions.
Yeah, I've read some Colleen Hoover, but it's more of like the spicy Colleen Hoover as opposed to like the crushing cry, sob in the shower type book.
Sob in the shower. Woo, that's a rough book.
Yeah. So I think I did buy this one, and it does have really mixed reviews. Some people really love it, and some people like really hate it. So I'm gonna read it, and I am going to let you know what I think about it anyway. So I hope I like it.
Fantastic.
Beautiful.
Bravo. Yeah. Okay, what's the next one? Oh, Scream by Mike Deloso or
like
Deloso
Scream,
or
like Ghostface.
No.
Oh.
Well, there are screams. I don't know. It's a horror.
Oh.
So, I don't know.
So it's not about
It's about this guy who starts hearing these unearthly, like, savage, like, non-human animal screams. And then somebody dies.
Whoa.
Yeah. And that is it.
That's it?
That's all I've got for you.
Really?
Yeah. It's actually laying in the floor of my husband's car for me to read.
Wait, so. Okay, so now I want to read it because cliffhanger, thanks.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's as good as what it gives me, which is nothing. But
exactly.
You know what I mean. Yeah, and that's it, literally. So if you like to be scared your pants off, then read that book. But I'm a little more easily scared than most. So
you are.
It may not be scary at all.
Yeah, so, but Beth Ann will be scared.
I will be. And this is only 324 pages. Totally reasonable.
Yes. Very small.
Very small.
My fourth book is The Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo.
Yeah.
I think I pronounced that name right. Leigh Bardugo?
It's Leigh.
Bardugo?
I know Bardugo is right, but I don't know if it's Leigh or Leigh. Because I always say Leigh.
I think it's Leigh, but I don't know.
Oh. You guys let us know.
Yes.
Or, Leigh, write us. Tell us. This is how you pronounce my name. I wouldn't be mad.
So this is about a person who is a survivor of an unsolved crime, and this person has achieved a free ride at Yale, and turns out like why this person's dealing with their unsolved crime and their whole family has been like murdered. A dead girl shows up on campus. And so basically this book is about this person trying to figure out why this girl's dead, what happened to her, and then there ends up being like some like weird secrets going on inside
It's kind of like
Yale.
a secret society thing.
Yeah.
I feel like.
It's like
That makes sense.
gosh, it reminds me of kind of reminds me of like Truly Devious or like the Inheritance games. It's giving me those vibes. I read a book about a secret society, but I can't even remember what it was. I've read like a billion books. So yeah, I think this will be really good. It's actually really popular, but I just haven't read it yet.
Yeah,
I really love the cover though. It's
Yes.
like matte black with like a shiny black snake.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Very
It's
good
so
choice.
Pretty. So pretty.
People have reviewed it a lot, like on the BookTube and other stuff like that, and have said it was fantastic. But I have never cracked it open because it is so large.
Yes, and if you don't know who Leigh Bardugo is, she wrote Shadow and Bone.
Yes.
And that's also a book, and it is on Netflix too. And she has become pretty popular, so she introduced Grishaverse and all that.
If you like witches and stuff like that, then this is also something that you'll enjoy. It's like one of those kind of stories. So
yes, so definitely pick that up. We do have it. It was actually just on the TikTok display that I did, which is no longer up, but you guys can definitely still come in, and I can literally direct you to all of the good TikTok books.
TikTok. Okay, my next one is Wicked Saints by Emily Duncan.
Ooh, yeah.
And this is a story about 3 people who have to assassinate a king to stop a war. But it's in like this fantasy world where there are like these mysterious gods and there's like all this other like monsters and stuff like that. A lot of bloodshed. And the description says it's about a girl who can speak to gods, who must save her people without destroying herself. A prince in danger must decide who to trust, and a boy with a monstrous secret waits in the wings. This has been on my shelf for a very long time. The cover is also really gorgeous on this one. I really love it. It kind
pretty.
of, like the second book and the third book, the cover art reminds me of, oh no, I forgot it already. Monstrous, the graphic novel. Have you ever read Monstrous?
Mm-mm.
So good, but it's like kind of like that art design where they like these old gods like exist in this kind of like veil between the worlds, and they're trying to come back in to destroy humanity essentially. Very good. I really, really liked it. And it kind of reminds me of that a little bit, but just a story. I think you gave me this book.
I did, yes.
You did, and I'm very excited to read it. Because I think I found the second one for like $2. It's a trilogy, by the way. But yeah, it actually came out kind of recent. Well, not really. A couple years ago, but still, it's kind of fresh, and people really, really love this one as well. It's called Something Dark and Holy series, which sounds super ominous. So it's like this fantasy, like thriller, like assassin thing, and I love assassins, so.
Yeah, you'll have to tell me if it's good, because I didn't. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna sneeze.
Bless you. Bless you.
So, yeah, when I got that book, I got it in a book box that I had a subscription for, and I did not like reading fantasy or anything like that at that time. So, I was like, here, Beth-Ann, you take it.
So it can exist on my shelf forever.
Yes.
Bless you again.
Oh,
You're out of blush yous.
I'm sneezing.
You've exceeded your limit for the day.
So my fifth book is The People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry, and I would consider this a what I like to refer to as a cutesy romance. It's got that like the cute little cover art of like the people on the front, bright colors. It's really cute. That's why I picked it up, because normally I don't read cutesy romance, but I have actually started reading them here and there because it's like a break from like the darkness that I do read, the constant darkness and depression that I put myself in from reading the books that I do. So this is about 2 friends who are complete opposites, but they're best friends. They decide to take a vacation together every single summer. But it just so happened that 2 years ago, something big happened and they're not friends anymore. So they contact each other and they're like, hey, let's take a vacation. We'll decide to like fix this and it's going to be great. And this is a romance, so I'm only assuming that they're like going to be two friends that like have this like undying love for each other. Don't know if that's how it's going to go, but that is the vibe that I'm getting. That's normally what cutesy romance is all about, so.
I hope you love it.
Trisha read it, I'm pretty sure, and she said she really loved it. So for you, Trisha, I will read it.
Romance.
But Beth Ann will not.
Nope, not doing it. So
Sorry.
all of you bandwagon.
The cover's really cute.
Jump
though.
on Samantha's bandwagon and read the cutesy barfy romance.
Now, I only read these
Support
like
her.
once every couple months, so don't be judging me. I'm still a dark romance reader, like fantasy, sci-fi. I haven't gone to the cutesy romance side.
Just gotta change it up a little bit sometimes. Just gotta do
You
a
just
little
gotta like
something.
make yourself happy sometimes instead of like sad
Yeah. Yes.
or terrified.
Yeah, sad or terrified, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have the Dictionary of Lost Words on here by Pip Williams, which I love.
And are
the
these
name.
your online book list now?
This is, yes. This starts, so the first 5 that we did were books on our physical shelf.
Yes.
The next 5 are books that we have on our wish lists or have purchased and haven't read yet.
Like on Amazon or Goodreads.
Or Overdrive,
Yes.
Libby, Hoopla, etc.
But these are all at the library as well, so you can access them.
Yes, there's nothing here that you shouldn't be able to get your hands on. So, the Dictionary of Lost Words is also it's also historical fiction. Horror/historical fiction. It's beautiful. I'm waiting for the, mashup of those two things. Well, actually, I think I might have read. Never mind. Anyway, I'm going to read you this first summary because it's so like I don't know why I haven't read this yet because it's going to be so good. I'm like desperate to read this. Okay. Esme is born into a world of words. Motherless and irrepressibly curious, she spends her childhood in the scriptorium, an Oxford garden shed in which her father and a team of dedicated lexicographers are collecting words for the very first Oxford English Dictionary. Young Esme's place is beneath the sorting table, unseen and unheard. One day, a slip of paper containing the word bondmaid flutters beneath the table. She rescues the slip and, learning that the word means slave girl, begins to collect other words that have been discarded or neglected by the dictionary men. So she, I'm assuming, essentially creates her own dictionary of words that have been thrown away or cast aside because they're not, deemed acceptable to these people.
Do you think the word yeet is in there?
Has to be.
Yeah.
I'll let you know when I read it. But, again, if you like that kind of a journey and like inadvertently learning about history without reading your history textbook, read this. It's going to be so good. It kind of reminds me of The Professor and the Madman, but that's actually nonfiction.
Gotcha.
So if you want more dictionary related things to learn about that, read both of those.
Read it. Pick it up.
Read it.
I actually, on my list, I have 2 books that actually just came out. Like, one doesn't come out for another week, but the one that I'm going to talk about right now just came out yesterday, and I'm really excited for. This is Court, and this is the 4th book in Tracy Wolf's series, Crave. And so I'm not going to really tell you about what this book is about because I don't want to ruin the series for you. But I will say that this is a vampire romance series. Not like Twilight. It's definitely, I would say it was darker than Twilight and a little bit, definitely a lot better writing and a little bit more new adult. But there is a lot of action compared to romance. Like, the action supersedes the romance, I would say. So if you don't like a lot of romance but you love like vampires and you love action, definitely pick up the series. I actually just bought tickets for her book talk next week and I'm really excited. It was super cheap and you get the 4 book series signed copies for like $90, like your ticket, the 4 books signed,
Oh, wow.
and like a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited for it.
It's
And
gonna be great.
they also let you like submit a question, and they might pick it to answer on the book talk. And if she answers my question, I will die.
Pass out.
Yes. So I'm really excited to read that book. Right now I'm reading Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. So I have not started it yet, but I will have it read by the book talk next week. So I'm excited. Pick it up.
Exciting.
We probably don't have it in our library yet, but we have it on order.
It's gonna be good.
Yes.
My next one is actually another third book in a series that I didn't know was a third book in a series. I did a really bad job. So I think you could read it alone because I think the main character is in each book, but it's not all connected. But it's about this guy who's part of a secret like service agency in the United States, and there's a massive like weaponized Ebola outbreak that happens, and he has to go and he has to like clean up and like hunt these guys down. Mm-hmm. I didn't even tell you the name of it. It's called The King of Plagues by Jonathan Mayberry, and that's the third book. It doesn't have a name, no. But the first book in that series is Patient Zero, but I don't know if we have it. So I say that to you if you aren't like me and are just going to read the third book. So
yes.
So just in case you want to hunt that down, but The King of Plagues. So I love reading about
You love
Ebola.
plagues and like zombie apocalypses.
I do, because I think
Apocalypses?
there's a apocalypses. I don't know. That's a very interesting. I'm gonna have to look that up.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll learn something today. But yeah, it's like because I was looking for a book that I thought we had called The Burning Road, which is the second book in a series I've started, and it's about the Black Plague coming and ravaging America, and it was actually fantastic. But I can't actually tell you that I am suggesting that book because we don't have it, so I didn't say anything.
We said nothing.
We said nothing, but yes, anything plague related, I'll read it.
Yeah, she's in there like swimwear.
I am.
My second book is Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover. This book I want to say it's newer, but I'm not sure. I don't know if it just became popular or if it's newer, but this is about a girl that just gets out of prison for some big mistake that she made in her life. And so it's basically about her trying to rebuild her life, and she ends up making a connection with this guy who's like one of the only people that's not looking down on her because of what she did. So I'm not really sure like how sad this book is going to be. So disclaimer, if you get super sad and you read this, I'm deeply sorry. I don't know if there's a happy ending. I don't know if there's a sad ending. I honestly wouldn't tell you the ending anyway. So you're just going to have to pick it up, read it. Reminders of Him by Colleen Hoover. Do it. Tell me what you think.
Okay, my next one is actually another like biological warfare book. The Andromeda Strain by Michael Crichton, if you haven't read that. But it's just about it's a thriller, and it's about this deadly extraterrestrial microorganism, and it tries to annihilate human life.
Also, side note, he wrote Jurassic Park.
He did, and it's my very first book I ever read.
Jurassic Park?
By him.
Oh.
No, not.
That was the first book I read when I was 3.5.
No, I'm not that cool. Anyway, it was also the first audiobook that I'd ever listened to, and that changed my mind about audiobooks. That book is fantastic. Now, don't even get me started. Yeah. That book
I've never read
changed the freaking game, man. It was so freaking good. And it's so much better than the movies, but the movies are still so good. Does that make sense?
The movies are great.
Like, you cannot... Don't even come at me with Jurassic Park being anything but...
amazing.
5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Okay? Like,
Those
be
movies are
disowned,
terrifying.
man.
Like, I will literally
So good,
watch
man.
those and, like, chew my nails
Still.
down to the nub.
Still watch them
Yes.
and love these movies, okay? Like,
Yes.
they could not do better, all right?
There is a new one coming out in June, I think, and I'm
Yes.
so excited.
I'm ready for it.
They're bringing back the OGs. They've been doing that a lot with movies, bringing back all the OG characters. They did that in Halloween, and they just did that again
Yeah.
with Scream.
It's because they start messing around with stuff and
They're
they
like,
realize that they are kind of screwing it up and
Yeah.
they got to go back and like make amends. I mean, I like the last Jurassic Park movie, kind of, but there's just something about the first group.
Yeah.
You know, that first grouping of movies that was just like chef's kiss.
Yes.
So, but yes, read Jurassic Park. If you are on the fence about audiobooks, it's so good. And if you really like science and stuff, it's so awesome. He almost makes it like this could happen, and like if it does, you're in trubs, dude.
Yeah, and I feel like these crazy scientists these days are trying to make it happen.
Exactly.
They're over there trying to create dinosaurs, I'm telling you, and I am not okay with this. When I watched Jurassic Park, I was afraid for my life for a good 2 weeks.
You should read it.
I was literally like, I would not go outside for like the rest of the day. I was like, nope, there's dinosaurs out there and I'm not.
There's dinosaurs. I'm gonna get eaten by a raptor.
I think I was like 8 when I watched it the first time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and yeah, it disturbed me for
So
a good day.
So you read both of those books. Like
Yes.
if you like sciencey, like, and it really is thriller. Like it's scary. Now it's got a little bit of information and you can skip over the weird parts. Like some parts in Jurassic Park are like him explaining like this weird like string or whatever theory. But it's still interesting. So don't get scared. Just read it.
Okay, so I have 2 more books and I'm actually just going to tell you them together because one I can't really like go into detail about because it is I believe the 4th book of my series. It's called The Crown. It might be the 3rd, honestly. I think it might be the 3rd. It's called The Crown of Gilded Bones by Jennifer Armentrout. And this is part of the From Blood and Ash series, and I really, really love this series. I thought that I was never going to find a series better than Court of Thorns and Roses, and this surpasses, people have mixed reviews, but this surpasses the series for me. And I just think, like, the dark romance, like, the enemies to lovers, and the whole plot is, like, so much better, and there's so much more, like, action. So I highly suggest The Crown of Gilded Bones if you are currently reading From Blood and Ash. Yes, go check this one out. And my last book is Kingdom of the Wicked by Carrie Maniscalco. And this book is about twin witches, 2 girls. They live in secret among the humans to protect themselves because I'm pretty sure this is when like the witches were being prosecuted. And so it turns out one of the twins shows up dead. She was murdered. And so the other twin is trying to seek vengeance upon her sister, and so she teams up with this guy who's known as the Wicked Prince of Hell. And she doesn't really know. I don't know. She doesn't know his intentions, if he's actually trying to help her or if he's like the enemy. So getting the enemies to lovers vibe, I'm obsessed. Like his name's Wrath. Like how
His name is Wrath.
Oh, I love it. I'm naming my next child Wrath.
Oh my word.
I love
Don't
it.
do it.
It's so dark, sexy, and handsome.
Oh my word. This little infant. His name's Wrath.
Yeah. So cute.
One day he's going to be a brooding, stunning man.
Yes.
You're welcome.
Yes.
My contribution to the earth.
You're welcome, ladies.
Oh gosh, I have one more, and it's Solitary by Travis Thrasher. And the description is awful. It's just about this guy who moves away to a town called Solitary, and how his mother starts having unexplainable nightmares, and how this town has this like really crazy secrets, and it's this like spiritual horror kind of situation. And she's probably like some weird sacrifice or something like that to some weird god in their town, possibly. But I'm down. So
Sounds good.
it's a trilogy, I think. So, and we have it on an audiobook
trilogy.
and as a regular book. And I think it's actually technically Christian horror, which take that for what it is. And there are some Christian horror books that I've read that have been horrifying. So I'm hoping that this is that one. You know, human sacrifice sounds great.
Yeah, excellent. So you guys definitely need to come to the library, check these books out, call us, put them on hold. Put them on hold by yourself if you know how to do that. Awesome. You are ahead of the game. You are great, because I forgot my password to my account and I am the worst. So I can't even put a hold by myself.
But if you call the reference desk, Samantha, then you can have that password changed.
Yes, I could. And I could just, do it by myself at work. But
or you can just call and we can do it for you.
Remember to do anything.
That's your cue, ladies and gentlemen, to also do those things.
And also, we have probably a billion more book suggestions for you, because we definitely have more than 10 books on our bookshelf. So
yes.
if you come into the library and you literally just have nothing to do with your day and you want to sit and talk to a bunch of reference desk people, we're your girls. We will tell you about every single book on our bookshelf, and you will be like, can I please leave?
We'll hold you hostage. It's fine.
Yes. So you guys definitely need to tune in next time. We are going to be reviewing, I believe it's We Were Never There by Andrea Bartz.
Haven't started it.
Was a pretty popular book going around, so we're excited to read it and review it with you guys.
I think you finished it already, didn't you?
Yes, and I'm not going to tell you what I thought about it, because that is for next time.
Yep.
So you guys will have to tune in and join us, and we'll tell you what we think.
Yep.
And have a great rest of the week.
Bye.
Bye.